You wanna smoke me? Do I look good to you? You know you like this. Come on. Just put me in your bowl. Or your bong. And just smoke me. Come on. You know you wanna smoke me. Mm-hmm. Oh, smoky. Smoky, smoky. Smoke me. Smoke me. Smoke me. Come on. Smoke me. You know you wanna smoke me. Smoke me. Smoke, smoke, smoke. Smoke me. Smoke me.
Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, I'm not up there. Where am I? Hello, hello. You can hear me but not see me. I'm hiding in here. Hey, Jason. Hey, Linda. Hi, Aaron, Staggering, Troy, Rose, always in the house. Stephanie, welcome, Duckman. Man, it's nice to see all you guys in here. Here is the link for the Discord. So if you want to see the plant and the plant content, you're gonna want to go check out the pictures over on the Discord channel. Most of this stuff on Facebook is just going to be telling you where to go when. We're going to do a class tonight, part 2, on breeding autoflowers. So I'm going to go through pretty much step by step the process that I take, and then we'll have a little quiz about it. I hope everybody had a great week. Tom! Yes, it's awesome to see you in here, Linda. I concur, Troy. So first, what we're going to talk about is reversing females. And in order to even start to breed a strain, for me, I want to get to know the strain. So whether I have 100 seeds to start with or 5 seeds to start with, my first goal is to plant as many as I can. And then from those, I'm going to choose which ones to make S1 self seeds from. So even if I have, say, 500 double grapes, I'm going to plant a couple of hundred. I'm going to watch them grow up. And when they first start to bud, I'm going to go out and select the ones that I want to use to make the selfie seeds. To make selfie seeds, you don't really want to pollinate right away. You want to let them grow a few pistils before you do the reversal process. If you start the reversal process while you're in veg or while you're in week 1 of flower, you're going to end up with mostly male flowers. If you do it in veg, you may not see any female flowers at all. There's, let me see where I'm at down here. Oh, I closed it. All right, I'll just have to reopen it again, because I want to make sure I cover each of the questions before we actually do the quiz. That seems to be the smart way. Or at least cover each of the answers. Let me go to my answers. Okay. So yes, if you start your reversal process, and you can use many different things to do the reversal process. There's colloidal silver, there's silver thiosulfate, there's gibberellic acid. There are other methods that can be used, like heat and cold, changing the lights. There's some other old school ways of reversing, but they're not very reliable. The chemical ways are the most reliable. Most manufacturers of the different types of spray that we use say that you should mix your spray fresh and only have it around for about 6 to 8 weeks, because it does start to go bad on you. You want to use it up while it's still fresh, keep it refrigerated, keep it in the dark. I keep mine in the refrigerator. I tend not to use the directions where it says to spray the plant thoroughly every day for a while. I do an injection method with a hypodermic needle so that I only have to do 1 or 2 applications and then I'm done. It also keeps me from getting exposed to the heavy metals in the silver thiosulfate that I personally use. Gibberellic acid is another good one. Colloidal silver has a little bit lower rate than the silver thiosulfate, and probably the gibberellic has the lowest. The flowers that you're going to see when they first come out, these little male flowers, they're going to come out pretty much, if you use the injection method, they'll come out all over the entire plant. If you're using the spray method and you're doing one branch, then you can just watch for them on that one branch. Most likely they'll show up underneath a bud and they'll be kind of a little ball guy up under the bud. But they can show up in the tips of the flowers. They can show up at the bottoms of the flowers. They can show up just on your lower branches. And if you're spraying, it won't, even if you spray the entire plant, it doesn't necessarily going to show up all over the entire plant. It'll show up in the parts of the plant where it soaked it up the most. That's why I like the injection method. If I go into the main stem, I pretty much get it all over the entire plant at once. To make the S1 selfie seeds, you just need one female plant that you're sure is female. And you're going to want to let her grow a few hairs. So you're going to want to wait until probably somewhere during the 2nd week of flower. The middle of the 2nd week, the end of the 2nd week is pretty good for reversing her. That way she still has plenty of little white hairs that you'll be able to turn into seeds. Each one of those single white hairs, if touched with pollen, will become impregnated and the calyx will swell up with a seed inside of it. To know for sure whether or not your swollen calyx has a seed inside of it, you can simply just squeeze it. And if it feels like there's something hard inside, then it's making a seed. If it just squishes, then there's no seed inside that swollen calyx. A lot of times people see their plants as they mature and the calyxes begin to swell way up. They'll think, oh no, my plant is making seeds. No, that it's making seed pods, but that's what buds are made of, is many different calyxes next to each other, and little hairs coming out of each one is what produces the bud in the first place. If you want to make sure that your S1 seeds are fully mature, you have to go beyond the harvest window. Now, you don't really want to go to 100+ days because then you run the risk of the plant, having some sort of a mold issue or a fungus or a bacterial situation where it can get slimy or moldy, and that will destroy seeds. But you do want to go 90 days plus. You don't want to harvest at day 75 because half the seeds will still be white. You don't want to harvest at day 85 because you'll probably still have a quarter of the seeds be white. But if you will wait until day 90 or above, you have a good chance of having 90% of your seeds be absolutely mature. Let me see what that question was so I make sure I cover it. I covered that question, that question, that question. That question. If you go later in flower with your application, you run the risk of your pollination coming too late, and then none of the seeds will have a chance to mature. You'll have a very, very low yield for your seeds. But what you want to do with any strain that you're going to want to flower is first grow as many as you can, select the best of those, make S1 seeds self-pollinated for the S1 generation, which should be an exact genetic copy of the one that you started with. Then you take that large group of seeds, sift through it, find the prettiest, best ones, plant as many of those as you can, and select again. You can do that for many generations. With the Orange Portal, we've done that probably 4 or 5 generations at least. I've done it 3 generations myself. I know Josh has done it at least 3 or 4 generations. With the Slapple, we selected from them 5 different times, but one of those rounds we threw out because it wasn't it we selected we didn't like what we selected, so we didn't keep that round of seed around at all. I think we actually gave them all away to a commercial grower that got a decent round, but it wasn't what we were looking for, so we didn't keep those on to breed with. So we're probably only at an F4 with those Slapples. But we won't be doing the Orange Portal or the Slapple under those names anymore because Speedrun has requested that we change the name. So for now, they're Orange and Apple, and if anybody comes up with a great name for them, shoot it over to me. If you want to come up with a sticker too, I'll use your sticker and give you credit for it. We had a really nice sticker come up for the Garlylocks, and we were able to make the 9 poster packs with the original Garlylocks sticker for all the Garlylocks crosses. And speaking of those, the first one of those has sold out. I think it was Garlylocks Stopwatch is now gone. You can still get all the rest of the poster packs, but they are running out. And some of the other stuff, the limiteds, they're almost gone. There's I think 3 packs left of Windows Dose. Let me get close. Sorry, I'll go around you. The Windu Yoda has 1 pack, and the Windows Dose has 3 or 4 packs, and then they will be gone. Let me get back over here so I can get to your comments, though. Where am I at? Oh, you should definitely attempt this trivia. We're going to go back over it again. Oh, I'm sorry, Elliot. Elliot just got a toe removed. His big toe was completely removed. Looks like a shark bit him on the foot. Oh, thank you, Rose. I would love to have some candy from you. If I had started some seeds at about a week ago, was the 30 days when they will typically start. So yes, for an autoflower, they're going to typically start flowering in their 3rd or 4th week of life. And it's going to be very light at first. So you definitely, when you're reversing autoflower, want to wait till close to the end of week 2 when you have plenty of white hairs for it to self-pollinate. Now, if you've already selected, like we have with the Orange Portal, many generations, then you can grow out a whole group of them and decide in veg, because now you know them well. You already know what the bangers look like when they're little. You can decide in veg that this one and this one and this one are going to be pollen donors. You could give them the reversal agent, be it the colloidal silver, the gibberellic acid, the silver thiosulfate. You could give it that at the end of their veg stage, probably week 3 of their life, and you would have a fully boy plant that didn't produce hardly any seeds at all for itself, but that would produce plenty of pollen to make crosses with. And that's generally the end goal, is we want to select out the traits that we like several times so that we narrow it down to the parts that we like of that particular plant. And then we can get to know it well enough in that process to pick which ones we want to use as pollinators to just make pollen with. But tonight's quiz is on making S1 reversal seeds. So you would want to pollinate, you would want to start your reversal process during week 2 of flower. You would want to make sure that it goes past 90 days. You're going to look all over the plant for signs of flowering, either along the main stem, along the branches close to the stem, in the tops of the flower, inside of the flowers, right at the bottom of the flowers, and you should start to see male flowers coming out. They don't have any pistils yet, Jason says. A week ago was the 30 days. If they are good-sized plants, and are you sure they're autos? If they're from me, tell me what strain they are. If it's something like a Garlylocks or like that triple-double dosey G, those plants tend to grow sometimes 4 and 5 feet tall. You might not see, you might have a delayed veg time if you've got a lot of vegetative growth. But let me know what strain those are, Jason. Elliot, that was a bad inside joke. Rose has a nail fungus. What are y'all fungusing? Hey, Joey, you're not late at all. We're going back over. Yeah, Rose, Elliot, a lot of us live alone. I'm lucky right now to have Tom visiting. Tom Manning is visiting from Colombia, and he's been such a huge help. Such a huge help. Good evening, DJ. Everybody loves DJ. A Great Brains, I don't know that much about because that's from that breeder in Canada. But everybody had said I've not had any complaints about it. And I've sold all but 3 packs of that Great Brains. The skunks, you might have to wait until day 40 to start seeing it on a bigger plant. Good evening, Troy. Hi, Suji. How are you? Keep doing the RSO and doing the RSO as a topical too, Elliot. Because it takes a while for it to soak in and really help, but it will start healing that up a whole lot faster. Every deep open wound that I've had that I've used RSO on has healed up way better than I expected it to. So we do have the Discord. I want to show the Discord to y'all. This is over on the Discord channel. This is a channel that I can do, and I don't know if it'll even let me right now. Let's see. There we go. Let me turn on the camera. So now there's 2 of me. Is everyone getting good and confused? So this is our Discord over here. And it allows a bunch of us to come on camera together and show our stuff. It lets us show our plants. It lets us have different chats.
Hey, Nancy.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
See, and by jumping in here, somebody's already jumped in here with us. How are you doing, Crunch? How do I get back in there? Go back in like that. And now somebody's already joined us in here. We're actually doing a live over on the YouTube right now, Crunch. But I was showing people how the Discord works and seeing if I can maybe invite some people to come over and check out the Discord. I'm putting up a invite for the Discord. It'll only be good for, I don't know if it's a 24-hour or a 7-day one. But if you use it today, I know it's good for today. But come join us over. Do you know where our YouTube is, Crunch? I dropped the link in the growers chat. Do you want to come join us over on YouTube? I don't know if Crunch can hear me. But I'm going to leave out of here. I'll stay in there for the voice. That way I'm not just kicking them out. There's also over on the website a running live chat where you can go and drop a question. It might take me a couple of days to come back and answer, but it's a fully public chat, so you'll see good and bad up in there sometimes. I do need to go and clean it up a little bit, I think, and try to keep the trolls out of there, but the Wheel of Fire on Wednesday. Yes, yes, yes. If you go over and join on the Discord on Wednesdays, we do the Wheel of Fire. Ah, yes. So we need to turn that Discord off, Crunch. There we go. Now we won't get, I turned it off on my end so you won't get so much feedback. If you turn it off on your end, you'll eliminate the feedback as well. But the live chat is pretty cool. You can put pictures up in there. You can put links. You can put screenshots, memes, pretty much whatever you want to put in there. Ask for information on plants. But mostly if you want to see the plants that we have been growing and see examples of them, Discord's going to be the place to go. You can search, you can search on Facebook, of course, for any strain name and see what other people have grown. But I'm going to try to consolidate as much of it as I can over onto Discord so that we have an actual record of it. Hi, Dave. How are you? Yes, Rose, I saw your pictures. Your pictures are in the are under the Dark Jedi lines. I was just looking at those. All right. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close all my extra steps so I don't have any lag. I'm doing great, Dave. I'm doing great, and we are getting ready to do the quiz. We had a little talk about how to make S1 autoflower seeds and some best practices during breeding and reversing. And I do have some more tips and tricks, though, that I want to add in. Pollen is killed by water, so it's very easy to contain and control pollen. We use a keyboard vacuum cleaner that has a little filter in it that kind of looks like a coffee pod size filter, but it's a little bitty filter like comes in your shop vac. And you can just suck up all the male flowers with it, and the filter will hold all the pollen. When you're ready to disperse it, you just take the pollen out of a sealed bag that's marked with the strain and just flick it, give it a couple of smacks, and it just rains down all over your plants. You can wear a painter's suit, a little hood. You can use a raincoat, a rain poncho, just changing your clothes and wearing scrubs. Before you go in and play with pollen, squirt yourself down with a spray bottle with some water. You can hang a wet sheet, wash a sheet in the washing machine, and then just hang it over the door where you're going to go and work. That way anything that goes in and out through the doorway will get caught on the wet sheet and will die. You can take a shower and clean your clothes afterwards to help keep from spreading pollen, but pretty much just using fine mists of water all over everything. If you're going to be playing with a lot of pollen, go wet all your plants down that you don't want to get pollinated, and that will save them so that if anything lands on them, it dies. Pollen's a finicky little stuff. It doesn't store well, and it doesn't keep for long. If you can get it completely dry and vacuum seal it and put it in a freezer, it'll sometimes last up to a couple of months, but it's pretty much only good or guaranteed when it's absolutely fresh. So occasionally you will see pollen come up on the website when I have plenty. I will sell a little bit of the extra, but it doesn't last for more than a week, and it needs to be used up right away. It's not something that you can buy and save and store. Oh no, Sherry still can't get her Discord to work. I'll look on there, Sherry, and I'll check into some ways. Maybe I can send you a link to get back into it or something. I know they're connected to your phone numbers, though. So if you change your phone number, I know it's really hard to get back in. I'll have to look that up for you. But yeah, just keep some water around to help kill the pollen. Make sure you store your pollen in airtight containers. Oxygen and light also degrade and kill pollen over time. You don't really have to worry about pollen sticking around from one year to the next. If you had a lot of pollen before, within a couple of months, it's no longer viable just from the regular humidity in the air. All right, are we ready to start the quiz? Is everybody ready in here? The way this works is you need 5 letters for your final answer, so don't put up the answer before the end. You're going to need 5 A, B, C, D's, E's. I don't know, A, B, C, D, E's. Is there an E? A, B, C, D. No, there are 5 A, B's, C's, or D's. You'll need a combination of all 5 for the end. I'm stoned. Here, let me hit play. Hi, Raymond Sperling. You're just getting here in time for the quiz, and you're going to be winging it because you didn't hear the explanation before we started. I don't expect you to get them all right since you weren't here. Are you ready? Give it your best guess, Raymond. And anybody else who showed up late, give it your best guess. Hey, Lopez. Nice to see you in here, Chris. Do your best on the quiz. I know you weren't here for the explanations. Which of the following is not used to suppress ethylene in female plants? Suppressing ethylene in female plants is what causes them to grow male flowers with only the female gene in the pollen. So you get feminized pollen by suppressing ethylene in the female plant. One of these following things is not used as a reversal agent when you're reversing female plants. Save your letter to whichever answer you've picked. Hey, it happens to us, Dave. And back in the day, we used to only have hermaphrodites to make strains. So a lot of strains do have hermaphroditic genes. If they come from an old school strain, that hermaphrodite gene might still be in there. Where do your first male flowers appear when you're reversing a plant? Yeah, years ago, Dave. That's what. But you know, before we had the silver thiosulfate and the colloidal silver and the gibberellic acid and the different things that we can use to suppress the ethylene, we really had to use some old school methods. One of my favorite old school methods for suppressing ethylene was running a generator in the greenhouse. It seemed like the toxic gases that came out the back of the generator helped to suppress ethylene quite well back then. Where do you find the male flowers? Near the stems, the top of the buds, the side buds, all of the above? Question number 3 is coming. Well, I guess it's coming kind of slow, question 3. Question 3, when do you begin the reversing process to produce the most S1 seeds? Now, this is if you want selfie seeds from that plant to get a genetic exact copy from that plant. When do you begin the reversing process? Let me go back just a little bit because that went by really quick. It'll be the last week of edge, the first week of flower, the 3rd week of flower, or the 2nd week of flower. When do you reverse for the most seed? Question 4 is when do you harvest your S1 seed? And this is the day from birth. Just photo ominous. You should go slow and wave and go.
Oh,
Yeah. Question 5 is how do you know if your plant has any seeds growing in it or not?
the leash is in the car. I'm gonna grab the leash. Come on.
Oh. I went too far. I went too far. All the answers went up before people got to put their things in. Staggering's got his in. Question 5. How do you know if your plant has seeds growing in it? One of these is a foolproof way to tell. Hopefully I didn't show the answers to everyone for too long. I forgot to hit the pause. Stoner problems, but my joint fell down in this little cup. And I have to rescue it. Here it is. It's saved. I can go back over the questions real quick while everybody's getting their answers up there.
I'm not sure.
In case you missed a question. Question 1. Which of the following is not used to suppress ethylene in female plants? Question 2. Where do the male flowers appear on the female plant? Question 3. When do you begin reversing process to produce S1 seeds?
Here it is now.
Question 4 is when do you harvest autoflower S1 seeds? And question 5 was how do you know if you have seeds growing in your plant?
Amazing. Wow.
All right, we've got some answers. Baked is always the answer. That's how we got here. We should all get stoned before quizzes is exactly correct, Sherry. That's why we get them wrong, Rose says. Yes, it's a learn and burn. We always burn before we learn. All right, are we ready for the answers? I don't think we got 13 people answering it. I think some people are... I'm going to put the answers we have back up there, though. A Bloody Mary and a joint of the child. Oh my goodness. BDCAC. That's a contender, Duckman. All right, I'm about to reveal the answers. If you don't feel confident in your answers, you can change them now. But we're going to hit play. Answers! BDDBC. All right, let's see who's got the BDDBC. Oh, that one's so close. That one's close too. BDDBC. Linda Rooney's paying attention. Linda Rooney, congratulations. You paid attention. Linda got every answer right. That's amazing. BDDBC. Linda's is correct. Good job, Linda. Yeah, we can go back over these and talk about the why. Let's see if I can get here. The only one of these that does not is phosphoric acid, and that's pH down. So pH down does not cause your plants to reverse. All of these other things do cause your plants to reverse. And one thing you need to know is that once you've introduced this into a plant, either through the spray or the injection, either way, the plant is going to soak it up. And when the plant soaks it up and starts to make those male flowers, it is going to send that chemical out through its root exudates. So if you're in a raised bed, if you're in the same pot with another plant, if you're in a flood and drain system or recirculating water system, you run the risk of flipping any plant that has contact with that plant's root system or root exudates. So if they're all sitting in one big tray and you water them and water comes out the bottom and gets soaked up by another plant, you could cause the silver to get transferred between plants. You also want to make sure that you don't use that soil again on any plant that you're not trying to reverse, because it's in there. And don't smoke those plants because the heavy metals are bad for you. So don't ever smoke a plant that you've given this to. Good evening, Texas Gypsy. The male flowers appear anywhere on the cannabis plant where female flowers can appear. It will be coming out of the exact same growth site. It will just be a different type of flower. So the answer to that was all of the above. Question 3, when you begin the reversing process to produce S1 seeds. If you want the plant that you're reversing to produce its own seeds, you need to wait till the end of week 2 of flower. Or the middle of week 2. Somewhere in week 2 after you have plenty of hairs. But not too late, because then they may not mature fully. So week 3 is too late. Week 1, you won't get very many seeds. The last week of veg, you might get no seeds at all. Just pollen. When do you harvest your S1 seeds? Day 90 plus. So you want it to go as far as it can. If the plant dies before that, you can go ahead and chop it. But during those last few weeks, it will barely be taking any water. Just water it maybe once or twice after day 75 and let it dry out. Let it die on the vine, so to speak. Let it go to seed. And question number 5 was how to know for sure if there's a seed growing in that swollen calyx. Is to squeeze it and see if there's something hard inside. Even on plants where you're not sure, you think, oh, this plant may be seeded because I see it swelling. Just squeeze it and you can alleviate. Squeeze between 2 fingernails like you're trying to squeeze a pimple and you'll know for sure. Congratulations. Congratulations, Linda. That was awesome. Linda pays attention and she grows some badass buds. I am absolutely addicted to her Nugs Double Grape. When I see her, she generally gives me just a little tiny bit and I savor it for as long as I possibly can. I do want to ask you guys to stick around a little bit after the video is over and come back and make a comment, because all the comments we make during the show disappear. And if you would come back and put a like on it and add a comment and maybe even share it out somewhere, it would really, really help me. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe so that you can turn on that notification bell, and it'll tell you every time we go live. I tried to do a live yesterday from the class, but for some reason the sound wasn't working and I had to shut it off. But I am going to do a recording of yesterday's class. I got to cut and edit the video so that you don't have to see all the production issues that I have during live streams. And I'll put it up as a full class on the YouTube channel sometime this next week. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for hanging out and doing the quiz. The Discord channel is up there on the screen. So join the Discord, come over and do the Wheel of Fire on Wednesday nights. We crowd in there and we spin the wheel. Everyone who shows up is automatically on the wheel. And the Wheel of Fire is any strain you choose off the website. Tonight, of course, is a buy one, get one because we're doing the live stream. It'll be buy one, get one free until midnight. There are a few that there's not very many left of. There's only one Windu Yoda. There's only 4 Windows Dose. We're getting really low on the orange and the apple, and those will not be back for quite some time. The orange crosses are doing well in there. I've got pollen on a couple of different orange portal plants that I hope will be enough to get all the ones that I choose in there dusted and pollinated, but it'll be a few more weeks before we start that process. I did plant today all of my autoflower cup entries. So if you're going to join up and grow along with us and enter something for the American Autoflower Cup, I'm going to be collecting all the entries. And then I will I will have them transported out to California. If I can't go out there a week early and deliver them myself, I will get them transported out there so they can be hand delivered on delivery day. It's going to take 20 gram samples of 1 gram each. They'll let us know which jars to buy off of Amazon to put them all in little jars. Or you can just send them to me as 20 gram samples. And I will make sure that I get enough of the right little jars for us all and put our samples in the jars. I'm really excited. I think we can get a trophy. Somebody on our team can get one this year, I'm sure. Let me check the comments before we get out of here. Yes, enjoy the rest of your evening. I will definitely give Nugs a kiss. Oh, thank you for having some for me. Thank you, Sherry. Everybody have a wonderful, great night. Share it around. Invite some friends to come join us. We're going to be Sunday nights now at 6 o'clock on the YouTube channel. From now on, it'll be on Sunday nights. If I'm out of town, which I know I'll have one Sunday night up at Steve-O's in Minnesota next month, we'll do the live straight there from the event there at Steve-O's. It won't be the same as doing the live here. There probably won't be a quiz, but we'll have a bunch of party guests and we'll do some little interviews and get to see some of the folks that we see here on the live every night. Hopefully we can even get DJ up there and we'll get him on camera with us. Good night, everyone.